Today's video, and here really quick I want to mention a few things in today's video. First of all, this is a newly formed tropical cyclone 2A in the Arabian Sea. It's kind of the typical Arabian Sea structure, even though of course IMD is not one. This system it's doing okay. I mean there isn't a lot of curved banding features, but I think the system is, even though there appears to be some dry air evident by its outflow. Kind of outflow resembles a dry air storm, which is typical of the Arabian Sea. The system probably qualifies as a minimal tropical storm, though it's kind of unsure since these dry air storms tend to have surface mixing issues. Anyway, back into the Eastern Pacific, it's always quiet. The area that I briefly mentioned yesterday is fizzled out and does not have an industry is no longer even monitoring it. So now let's get right to the models. And overall, the global models are becoming to more agreement. And first of all, I'll point out that they show a Gulf of Toronto gap event, which generally helps these lows become better defined. And then by around day 4, as you start day 4, day 5, you start to see the system start to organize around July 1st and slowly turn northwest. Turn west-northwest, passing well to the south of Coral Island and becoming, at least in this run, a quite potent hurricane. And then eventually curving northward, then getting blocked, and then, at least in this one, turning back to the west. And you can see the European is showing roughly the same situation. You can see the European showing the system gradually organize. You know, in this run takes a little bit. The Europeans been very fluctuating the time frame. They seem to have agreed on about the system developing around July 2nd to July 3rd-ish, which is a little bit later than the GFS, and then eventually developed the system. Which isn't too surprising in the fact that GFS has a tendency, at least last year, to develop systems too fast. And it developed the system into a fairly disorganized, tropical cyclone. What's also interesting is that the global models have also tried, the latest European one has also tried to show a small tropical cyclone. That's behind what would this be like the Agatha. This would be Blanca here. And now you can see the latest GFS. This feature is also present now in the latest GFS one. Unfortunately, they developed this a little bit later on, a little bit further west. This is something to definitely keep an eye on as time continues. I mean, with the MGO poles passing, this sort of development does not appear to be unrealistic by any stretch of imagination. Conditions are like to be favorable for at least next week or two, as I mentioned in my previous video. So, we'll have to see how the system behind it plays out, and what the intensity about of this system, that potential Agatha. Assuming this comes Agatha, this would be named Bloss. But the first system that the globals are modeling, there's some uncertainty on basically the timing and what it's supposed to be able to intensify. I do think the GFS is overdoing intensity-wise some of it, just because it typically does so at the beginning of MGO pulses. And generally, when the GFS, especially this far out, is bullish, and the European is more conservative, it's probably better for now to at least take the safe bet and side with the European one. Now, this second system, I think it's likely to occur, though obviously this just recently appeared in the models for a few runs. So, I mean, take it with a grain of salt, but it does seem fairly realistic, such system happening. Anyhow, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!